Hey shooters, this is John with Sun and Shadow, where we build tools for competitors and warriors. I am currently on the long movement of the Tactical Games Sniper Challenge in Montana. And boy howdy, I gotta tell you, 4,800 feet elevation, it's not what I'm used to. I'm used to being in Florida at sea level. So let me give you a recap of what's going on here. The match was held outside Bozeman, Montana, just an hour or two away from Yellowstone National Park. This is a pretty beautiful area, and we took the opportunity to take a little vacation afterward. The Sniper Challenge was held at Tactic Range in Manhattan, Montana. Beautiful private range with hills and an elevation of about 4,800 feet. The elevation made even light work pretty intense cardio, and the hills provided us with some pretty unique firing angles. That's something that we don't find at very many ranges around here. Let's cover the differences between the very first Sniper Challenge in Texas last year and what we worked on this weekend. First of all, the targets were a lot smaller. I would say they were between 1.5 to 3 MOA, so they shrunk down a little bit from last time. We also shot in some more challenging positions. These included props, offhand shooting, sling work, and we weren't prone nearly as much as we were in the last one. Precision matters for Pistol 2. The pistol shots got a lot harder, both in distance and size, and also strong and weak hand shooting. And the regular clearing process from the Tactical Games has also been integrated. On this particular stage, we dropped the mag in order to fire the last shot. Individual bolt gun and individual gas gun divisions were both shooting off the same set of targets and stages. It made it a little bit easier for the match directors to set everything up. However, the team division did shoot a different course of fire than us, although they were on the same stages and targets. Another difference that I really liked at this match is that we had a lot more time on glass to find and range the targets for ourselves. There's also more opportunity to spot for others. One of my suggestions anytime you go to a competition is that you try to be on glass as much as you can to spot. It helps you be a better shooter and also lets you see what the wind is doing downrange. Speaking of wind, this was a really challenging place to make an opening wind call. The grass around the targets was all mowed, there was zero mirage, and flags on the range were few and far between. On day one, we shot about 10 stages, or roughly 120 rounds rifle, 100-ish rounds of pistol total. And on day two, we headed into the long movement. Didn't shoot as much on day two with the long movement, but we did have a 3-mile ruck in the Montana hills. All right, so we caught up to another shooter here, so I'm taking a little break here. I got a timer set. So that just, if you catch up to somebody, you set a timer, and that way you don't lose that time while you wait. There was a rifle-only stage to start. It was maybe 200 or 300 yards up a hill, get to the firing position, and then you range the targets, find and range the targets. You don't know where they are, you have to find them. They were both together at about 480 yards. You had 6 shots from 3 positions that you're allowed to take, so 6 shots total. I ended up getting 4 out of the 6. There was actually no wind out there, so the very first shot I didn't see any wind out there, so I just held center just to see where it would go, and end up getting an impact. So pretty much no wind out there. Now I've gone through another stage. It was just a pistol only stage, and now we are out at what I assume is going to be the long distance range here. I don't know how far we're going to go out. This is another scenario where we have to find and range the targets. So we'll find out where those are once I'm up. So we'll let you know how it goes. The long movement was a 3-mile ruck through the hills of Montana. And I will say that I tried to bring about half a liter of water with me, and I ended up being a little bit on the low side. There was water on the route as you move along, but there was a pretty long stretch where there wasn't any. And by the time I got to the next station, I had already used up all my water. So I might recommend that you bring about 1 liter of water with you on the long movement. If you watch any of my previous videos, you know that I have a whole bunch of tips here and there, and I want to share some new ones, some new learnings that I had here from the Montana Sniper Challenge. First of all, you should expect to find and range most of your targets. Going forward, this is going to be a larger difference that we start to see with the Sniper Challenge, I think. So with that, you might want to add some small binos to your kit. I think a little 10 power would be totally fine. That's what I had available and used, and it worked really well for me. Like I mentioned earlier, try to carry about 1 liter of water with you on the long movement if you can. That can be in a bottle or pouches or in a backpack or something like that. But I do think that you should have some water with you. In all of these clips that I show here, I am wearing a sun shirt. I actually wore this shirt both days, and I got to tell you that it was a lifesaver. It was really hot out there in Montana, really dry. The sun was pretty brutal, and I was pretty glad to have a shirt like this with a hood on that I could wear and not get sunburned both days. So really liked having this shirt around, and I recommend that you get something similar if you can. And then finally, this was pretty unique for me. I usually don't shoot out of the southeast very often. This is my first time shooting out west in a, let's say, a larger capacity. So out in the hills and elevation, what I found is that my gun number actually moved from 3 miles an hour to 4 miles an hour. That was based on the altitude that we were at. So that is something that you might want to check. When you get to a new range, you're going to want to reevaluate your ballistic data and also check out your gun number so that your wing calls can be a little more spot on. Overall, I'd say the match was very well run. We had a lot of stages to shoot on the first day and then a long movement on the second day. Targets beyond 400 yards had flashers on them, so making hits and spotting hits was really easy to call. And overall, I had a lot of fun. For your reference, I was shooting an AR-15 chambered in 5.56. I was shooting 77 grain projectiles. And the ranges that we were out to at this match were, most of the targets were between 400 and 600 yards. There were some opportunities for farther targets out to 900 and 1,000 yards if you were quick enough and able to get to those targets. But for the most part, the vast majority of those targets were between 400 and 600. So it's totally doable for an AR-15, even shooting 55 grain, although I'd recommend that you shoot something a little heavier, but you could still do it with something that you have available already. If you follow me on Instagram or watch some of my other videos, you would know that I've got a gear setup that I like to use, and it's constantly changing. But for this match, I'd say I was pretty happy with the gear setup. The only things that I really changed were that I added those 10 power binoculars. I really felt that I needed them in order to define targets. Made it a little bit easier for me. And then also the other thing that I had a problem with was my water. Didn't really bring enough on the long movement. Felt that I needed more. So I kind of feel like 1 liter is probably going to get you what you need. And then as a final note, I just want to say thanks a lot to the volunteers and staff at the Tactical Games that put this on. You can tell that this match is very professionally run. The way that it's set up, it's got a match book that's sent out early. It's got targets, and the far targets have flashers on them. They've got spotters at every station, the water set up at every station. I mean, they really did a great job. You can tell that it's very professionally done. So really appreciate the staff there that ran this, and also thanks to Tactic Range for hosting us here. We had a blast. It was just an amazing place to be. So that's it, a little recap of the Sniper Challenge in Montana. I'm hoping that I can get out some more personalized videos of my experience there within the next week or so. The gear that I used, what worked, what didn't work, maybe some overviews of stages. So keep your eyes peeled for that video to post up. And in the meantime, while you're thinking about that, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and that way you won't miss anything when it comes out. Thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you at the next event.